Now, recently I went game hunting in Savannah, Georgia, and I have good news and I have bad news. But before I get into all that, I would like for you guys and girls to hit that like button, click that subscribe button, turn on all your bell notifications for all your retro gaming plus NBA Live content and retro gaming content. Now, as of while you're watching this video, it is a bright and beautiful day, as you can see. And what time is it? It is retro game hunting time. Now, I went to a place in Savannah called Planet Fun, and I'm telling you guys, this store is actually pretty good. Now, to be honest, I didn't really see anything that caught my eye and was like, oh, I just had to have it. But, you know, I wanted to get something, but we're looking for the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, and it's going to be dropping November the 10th for the Xbox Series X, and it's going to be dropping for the PS5 November the 12th. So I'm actually trying to save my money, but it was a cell phone that I wanted also called the LG Wing. You guys can Google it and look it up. It looks like a piece of, interesting hardware, but it's pretty steep for a cell phone. It's $1,000. Now, I don't know about you guys and girls, but $1,000 for a phone, I never paid $1,000 for a phone. That's pretty steep, within consideration that they come out with cell phone like they come out with clothes. And they have like a better version of that phone, an updated version. And currently, me spending $1,000 for a cell phone plus $500 for the Xbox Series X, I'm not looking to spend $1,500 like that, just that fast. Now, like I said before, this is Planet Fun. This is a vintage retro video game store. Now, as I'm walking in, I see like nostalgic feelings right off. I see action figures. I see all kinds of toys. When I grew up, they actually was playing the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme music, and that was pretty tight. And back in the days, I was a big wrestling fan, so we got those Jack Pacific WWE action figures. Well, it's WWE now, but it was WWF in the action figures. Now, I seen a couple of things that I wanted, but I wasn't like, like I just had to have them. Now, I did see a orange Nintendo 64, and it was pretty high. I think it was pretty steep. And it's kind of hard to find those in the wild anyway. Now, I found a Mega Man 4 on Game Boy, on the original Game Boy, and I wanted to get that also, but I was just like, that was kind of steep. It was like $50, I think. It was like 45 or 50 or something like that. Now, I seen a Gears 5 action figure set. It was pretty cool. And I thought about getting this Nintendo 3DS, the first gen 3DS. It was a blue one you're gonna see in this video. It was about $85. Now, my reasoning to get that, it was like not only just to play it, but I had all the contents, because I used to have one and I didn't have it no more, but I still have the box and I still have everything that come with it, like it was brand new. I'm just missing the 3DS. I think they just actually stopped making games for the 3DS, which I think is an awesome system. And they had a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the original Xbox for about $80. No matter how many times that I go in these retro gaming stores, I feel like a kid again, y'all, like in a candy store, because it's so nostalgic. Seeing all this stuff we remember when it was brand new and coming out, and seeing it in the JCPenney magazines and the Fingerhut catalogs. No matter how much we play new video games, the graphics and the smoother it looks on these flat screen TVs. The original games, man, it just seems like if I play like a new Mega Man game, like the Mega Man 11, it's cool, but the old Mega Man, it's like it has so much character. And I guess it's like growing up playing it, and you're like, it's hard to play, and you remember seeing it in these ads on these cereal boxes in these magazines, like I was saying, like the Fingerhut magazines and all this stuff. Now, it's crazy, because when we look at old consoles, for the most part, they work. They still work. Now, you can have minor fixes like a PlayStation, replacing with the laser that that when they read the disc, and you could do like modifications for like Game Boys, like putting LCD screens in Game Boys, and backlit screens and all this stuff. That's more of a modification though. Like for the most part, they still work. You just want to enhance it. Even the old stuff like the Atari Jaguars and stuff. Now, finding an Atari Lynx that works, good luck with that. But for the most part, all this stuff still works, man. That amazed me. This is like early 90s stuff, like even late 80s stuff, like the Nintendo. You can replace the pins in a Nintendo, but for the most part, the system pretty much works, or it turns on. New consoles, new hardware, it breaks down faster than the old stuff. Now, the thing that I don't like about the retro gaming scene, man, the prices has gotten ridiculous. The prices on the GameCube stuff, like the first party stuff, I mean, it's ridiculous. This was a real retro game store because I saw arcade machines, even though they were off. Seeing arcade machines, it brings back so many memories for me. I mean, going to the laundromat when we were small, we would actually see, arcade machines. And that was a thing in laundromats. The kids now, they will never know about payphones and laundromats and going to laundromats and playing arcade and putting a quarter in and playing for about a minute or two and you die and then you put more money in it. That was a way of making money now. Now the ways of making money in the video game world have changed tremendously. It's like if you buy a game, they want you to buy the game and they also want you to pay for extra stuff. They make a game last forever now. With games like Grand Theft Auto 5 and even the sports games like I play, like you get so much downloadable content and you spend money on content in the game. Now, the generation of consoles has lasted. Let's see, the Xbox One, the PS4 have lasted since about 2013 up until now. That's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's a strong 7 year. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 has lasted like 5 to 6 years. That's crazy in the video game world. Back in the day, they would drop video games like every so often. They would drop like once a year. It's like 6 Mega Mans on the Nintendo. It's like Mario 1, 2, and 3, and then they come out with Super Mario Brothers World, Super Mario Brothers All-Star on the Super Nintendo. Then they have like these franchises with like number of games. Now they drop a game and you have one game and it lasts a long time. Now they do have series like Final Fantasy. It's a whole bunch of Final Fantasy. See what I'm saying? But I just wanted to share you guys with this retro gaming store, man, and it's a whole bunch of stuff in here, and I liked it. They also had games like the PS2, Dreamcast, and some of that stuff is gonna go up in price, which Dreamcast is already up in price, and certain PS2 games and certain original Xbox games and 360 games. So some of these games, if I were you guys and girls, I would try to pick it up. Get your first person shooters, get some of the action adventures game, because you never know, you might have a gem, and some of this stuff is so expensive now. It's just like, and then that's what really pisses me off about the retro gaming scene. If anybody has a lot of clout, or they have a channel, like, not saying anything bad, but I love Metal Jesus channel. But when he comes out with a video and he highlights a video game, that price, it actually upscales. It then fluctuates the price of the video game, and that makes it hard for people like us. And then, like with the pandemic, I was looking for some college games on 360 just to play, some basketball games. I wanted to go back and play them, and some of those had shot up to $100, $200, $300, and I was just like, oh my God. And then the pandemic made some of the GameCube games just skyrocket in price. And see, that's bad, man. I mean, it's good and it's bad. It keeps the retro game scene alive, but it also makes the price go up. So people that wanted to enjoy those games, and they hear about it, and then some people just want to get it just because the price went up so they can make a fast buck. And those people I can't stand, man. It's just like with the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. People are gonna get those consoles and don't even want them, and then they're gonna sell them on eBay, and then they're gonna sell them for triple the price. And since it's holiday, and since it's a really, not that much of volume in circulation, since we're having the pandemic, they're gonna get it because it's not gonna be another batch for probably about next year or whatever, in the middle of next year. So, they're resellers, and the resellers, if you're making a living, I don't have a problem with that. But if you're just doing it just to get money, and like the money that you make, you just like it's like, what are you like? What's the point of like doing it? I mean, it's only so many times you can do that. You know, you gotta work like everybody else. You know, get you a real job, and then that's, you know, that'll be cool to get a real job. But just trying to make the flip, but it's not gonna last forever. It's like the NES Classic and the SNES Classic. You know, those was flipping for a while, but Nintendo brought out some more. So the resellers, they're like, oh damn, I can't make no more money. That's good. And it's just like the shoe industry, man. They do the same thing. You know, they get a shoe and it's hot and they put a name on it, and then they only come out with like 2 or 3 copies of it in the store, and then the price goes up, and then it even goes up even more. It's like if you go out Saturday morning and a Jordan come out, you wait in line for it, people just get it just to quadruple the money. It's like you pay $200 for a pair of Jordans, and then you go online and you see them later for $600, $700, $800. Now that has gotten better, but over the time, you see what I mean. It's like with video games, and if they know it's popular among, you know, everybody, they're gonna raise the price. And I think that's so messed up, because, you know, they can't enjoy the game, and then the people wonder why, oh, you know, I don't play emulators. You gotta play emulators nowadays, because some of those retro games, those games are ridiculous in price, man. And if it wasn't for emulators, you know, you couldn't really play those games, man. You know what I'm saying? And emulators, I don't have anything wrong with emulators, man, because some games that you get, and, you know, digitally, I have NBA Elite 11. Now, there's no way that I'm gonna pay the money that they want for that game. I got it downloaded on a PS3, you know, and I play NBA Elite on a PS3. And I'm not gonna spend $700,000, $800,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on that game. And it's just like other games. Y'all know a lot of expensive games, you know, when you can get it downloadable, or you can get it on a flash drive. You know, why not? You know, I'm not gonna spend, you know, $200, $300, $400 for, you know, a game that I played growing up. And I'm like, you know, it was good, but the value of the game is worth, you know, what it is to play. It's not worth like, okay, I'm gonna pass this around. And then some of those games, they go up in price, and then they spike back down in price. Like, go on Nintendo, like Mega Man 5 is probably like $100 now. There's no reason that game should be $100. Mega Man 5, Mega Man 6, yeah, it was late in the Nintendo lifespan, but it shouldn't be that much money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. All right, y'all, that is it for this video. It's your boy Centel, NBA Live Bolton, and I will be back at you with another video pretty soon. Later, doggy dog.